Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Banished Souls Cryptic Gaming here. I hope that you've been having a wonderful week. So, show you a few things in the game here. But first off, we'll talk about the most recent maintenance. It should have fixed some of those rubber banding issues. Now, there has been a lot of people that come in and they ask when you start having these server issues, well, hey man, I'm having a problem that is almost unplayable. If you were playing Saturday evenings going into Sunday and even part of Monday, we were dealing with mad rubber banding, which your ship will be sailing one direction and suddenly it stops and then it starts sailing in reverse direction and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. If you experience that and you're wondering, how do I get rid of that and how do I make it so it's playable, I'm going to show you that real quick. First thing, so here's what you want to do. You want to come in and you're going to want to go to your options. Alright, so when you come up, go to your settings here, and then you're going to go to crossplay and you're going to turn that off. Currently I have that set to off. I haven't turned it back on since then. I've noticed the game seems to be a lot more stable with crossplay off. The only bad thing about that is it limits who you can play with, so I'll be turning that back on later today. Now when you turn that off and on in your end game, it will exit you out of the server you're currently in, so make sure you get that set before you jump in with a bunch of friends, because it's probably going to set you to a new server. So that's how you fix that issue. They are definitely aware of the server issues. What's causing those issues, man, I don't know. I'm not one of the programmers, so I don't know. We did end up getting our ship back here recently. For those who are curious about that, I know we put a video out about when we lost it. You know, some of the stuff we were dealing with when we lost it, and then some stuff that when it finally come back. So we did end up getting that back. This is our battle bark. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the build I'm using on that, and I'm going to go to my Sambuk to show you what we're using on that as well. So for my battle bark, I am currently now using these Heaven's Mandate. You build those by defeating the dragon. You have to get those dragon talons and get those. These are just fantastic. Now, they may not seem like they're as strong as, say, the where's that long gun at? Divine Thunders. I mean, these are putting out 4,160 damage, where these here put out 1,795. But understand you're shooting upper and lower decks with these, and the reload times are so much better. The fire rate is so much quicker. Plus, whether you're hitting the weak spot or not, you can call down that lightning, the electric too. You can call that down from the heavens, whether you're hitting the weak spot or not using these. So you might end up getting that nice little extra 20% of damage and calling in that 1,500% electric damage from Heaven's Wrath. So amazing stuff. Definitely loving it. On the rear, we went ahead and put the Hung Ye Pie on there. It has that provoking and explosive too. And then of course on our center deck, currently using the Warhammer. I like the Warhammer. It's just one of my favorites. Now on some ships I have switched off of the Warhammer over to that Crouching Tiger, and I'll show you which ones and why. When it comes to the armor, I'm using the Celestial Dance on that ship. That has a 20% electric negation, 20% piercing negation, 5% burning. Looks like 16% flooding, 10% explosive negation. It's 1230 rating on it. But you have the lightning stream, which is where you charge it up. It's an AoE effect, and it sends out lightning charge, and it'll hit like up to 4 targets. It can chain 4 targets that are within a certain distance of you, and does an additional 16,000 electric damage to those targets. So very awesome armor to get. You may be wondering, well, where do I get that armor? That is found in the black market all the way down toward the bottom. So you're going to find that down there in the armors of the black market. I imagine this will probably be something that we're going to be able to build in time. Not really 100% certain, but I do believe we'll be able to build it in time. So we got medicine cabinet in there. We got our signal gong, campaigny screens, campaigny spirits locker, our scupper station, and of course our bombard grinder. You may be wondering, why aren't you running your electric furnitures? Well, I have that set up on my battle junk. That's what I've been using on it right now. It's kind of replacing my little healing ship here, just because of the insane amounts of hull that it has on Earth. So I'll show you what we've done differently here with our Sambuk as well. While we're in here, go ahead and give you that video. I know a lot of people have asked about Sambuk, what the build is, because we've changed a few things. Most of it's pretty much the same, but there are a few changes on here. So of course we're still running those Zama 3s. I am a Zama fan, man. I love these on that Sambuk. Then of course our Fire Bombard 3 on the rear. but I have switched over to the Crouching Tiger. I know everyone's like thinking, wow, I can't believe we got rid of the rockets. Well, you know, you got to go with what's best here. So this has the taunting effect, which is nice. I'd like to have the taunting effect. Refers to the taunted status effect. What is that status effect for taunted? Well, taunted, what that does is when you've taunted a vessel, when they shoot at you, it reduces the damage they're sending at you by like 50% in most cases. So that's pretty nice. You're going to get a 15% area of explosive blast as well for 50-meter blast radius. That's pretty awesome. And then you're going to add a 20% of damage, is burning damage with burning 2. So that to me is definitely worth it. Then our furniture, well, armor, we'll do that first. Buccaneer's Oath still. The reason I use that is when you sink a ship, and that's what this is this is a ship versus ship boat. You can use it against, anything as far as like castles and stuff if you want to. I would recommend that there's probably better builds, but you can use it for that. But this is going to give you that extra 25% for 30 seconds once you sink a ship, and it doesn't take long. Now, if you're fighting in PvP, you can sink an enemy ship that's a NPC and gain that extra 25% for 30 seconds against your opponent. So that's what I recommend doing. And if they're in an area of a bunch of NPC ships, shoot those NPC ships, get that blaze effect, because that blaze effect is going to apply that 5,000 damage to the player you're going against as well. Quickest way to take people out. You got to use the terrain you're using all around there, man. It's just know your terrain, know your ship, know the aspects of it. So furniture, the Bowers Powerhouse, we're using that for the mortar. Excuse me, guys. Increase the area of effect radius of mortars by 7%. Reduces the reload time of mortars by 5%. The scrapper station, excuse me, restores 8,000 whole health. The demi cannon furnace, maintenance forge, I'm using that. That's mostly for when you're PvE. You can use it for PvP. I would recommend using an actual battle furniture for that, but this right now is just for going around and farming, and I'm going to show you what we're doing to get those things as well, and what we're doing in game. Mortar works to help your mortars and then your volatile fuel, but mortar works adds 19% secondary damage, so that's going to help with that fire, setting things on fire. You have that fire 2 on there, so we're going to be using that on there. So burning 2 is what it's called. And then of course your ship cosmetics. Now what I'm looking at here in game, and we talked a little bit about this in another video, but we're going to show you again. So I will be changing my focus. They've changed some things this season. I still have to get one area here in Red Isle. It just, for some reason, has not come up. San Jonah Founder. Eventually it'll come up and I'll be able to grab that. But they have some auto collect areas where you can collect your profit just by holding X. So I don't put boats on those. You just hold like your X button. And as you see, we've already done it, but that's how you would do that. If you're on an Xbox, if you're on a PlayStation or whatever, it's going to tell you what button to do on that. And here we've got this one here. There's one other one here in Africa, up here at the north, so we're going to focus on getting that. I usually wasn't too interested in getting the Indies, but I'm going to show you why. So there's 5 areas here. So you got one here, or 4 areas I should say. So there's 2. This is all one section. 3 and 4. So there's 4 zones that you can auto collect there. That's going to cut way down on the amount of ships that you need. I mean, over here you've only got what, 4 territories you got to pick up. So going to definitely be worth that. So that's something that I'm not directly working toward it as far as hitting a lot of hostiles, but what I am doing is I'm coming in and I'm grabbing a lot of legendary heists or little buyouts that pop up for this zone and just snagging those. The pop-ups that come up over here for Africa, I'm going to snag those as well. Kind of keep an eye for hostile takeover. If this comes up, I'll snag it, or if it's a buyout, or maybe I'll get lucky and get something with a gilded box where we can run our defenses and stuff. So that's kind of what we're looking at. As you can see, we haven't brought everything up to 10s this season. I'm bringing most up to 8s, a few to 10s, the ones with the best payouts, the ones with the auto collects and stuff like that, mainly so I don't have to bring a lot of ships up to level 13. It's kind of what I'm looking at right now. So some of these territories we'll be bringing up further, but Let me tell you, man, it gets expensive pieces of 8, but at least they've reduced the cost of the silver on a lot of those things. So definitely keep an eye on that silver, because they've reduced the cost, but they've not really boosted how much you can get running these things. So something else I'm doing right now, it seems like the quickest way to garner these territories is through the buyouts. You get those buyouts about every 45 minutes. It seems like a buyout will pop up, thereabouts. Sometimes it'll just be a gilded box or whatever, a regular box, but not a big deal. Go ahead and snag it, because you might get one of them territories. But if you're trying to figure out, where do I get the brandies, where do I get things like that, well, the easiest way to find like Barque and stuff that I've found is coming into the main part of the map. And you're gonna go here, so like all the ships that are in this area here are going to have Barque, as you can see. Ambergris, frankincense, those are some other items that you're going to need. And you're just searching around up in these areas. Or what you can do is, the quickest way that I've found, bring it up this way here, Codex. If you find out that there's something like we'll say the brandy, that's another big one, brandy. So you'll hit A to track on that brandy. And then when you come back to your map, you're going to look for a little white spot, and what it's going to do is it's either going to show you an area that sells it, or it's going to show you a trade route. So there's your trade route. So if you follow this trade route, all this trade route down through here, you're going to be looking at campaigny ships. Alright, and then you're going to want to go and shoot those campaigny ships to brandy. And what you're going to find, there's a lot of these ships, they'll have 10, some of them will have 9, some of them will have 5, and that trade route runs all the way down through the map. So one of the areas I like to come and taunt and hunt and all that kind of stuff is right down in this zone. And I'll hunt all, because there's a lot of intersecting. As you can see, there's a ton of these intersecting areas here. I don't really go for bronze ingot much. I've got a lot of that, but there is a lot of cloves, Barque. I try to grab a lot of that stuff. I try to get a lot of the ambergris as well. And of course, you can get silver, wood tar. That's another great commodity. So typically, I'll come off here off the southern tip of St. Anne, Red Isle area down here, and Fort Lewis is what this zone is called. I'll come out and I'll just start knocking the crap out of these ships around here. Like I said, you've got a lot of shipping zones in this area that carry different type of stuff. So that's what I do, is I just try to hunt these shipping zones. And when I get where it's kind of following down, I'll find one and I'll follow that son of a gun all the way back to the source on the other side of the map and just fight it all the way across. And that is, my opinion, one of the best ways to be able to grab all the different types of materials you're going to need for these buyouts, because it used to be relics for the most part. But if you notice, we're not seeing as much relic use now, mainly because I think most of us farmed up so many relics last season. So they had to find a new way to make sure that we keep the game interesting. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But I hope this video helps you out. I hope it's answered some of your questions, guys. We'll see everyone later.